Every fat cell in your body has a self-destruct button. Here's how to get unwanted fat to safely destroy itself without pills or exercise. Hi, my name's Joseph Rosa, and I'm about to share how a simple combination of nutrients, as proven by medical trials, sets off a fat-burning chain reaction that commands your overinflated fat cells to shrivel up and even dissolve with no side effects whatsoever. This breakthrough discovery gives you immediate access to body fat's previously hidden self-destruct button and lets you safely do for your body, as it has for thousands of other men and women, what the most expensive weight loss pills and grueling exercise programs have been unable to accomplish. All you need are some herbs, spices, and foods in specific combinations and quantities. This shocking discovery started with a bizarre but completely true story. A terrifying late-night encounter with a hooded man at a Connecticut train station who left my sister fighting for her life, while I performed emergency CPR on her, covered in another man's blood and facing a charge of attempted murder. You're about to hear how this most traumatic and frightening night of my entire life led me to stumble upon a real secret to obliterating fat and achieving quick and long-term weight loss. A discovery that literally saved my 43-year-old sister's life, helping her lose a staggering 35 pounds and go from this to this in just 33 days. In this highly controversial presentation, I'm going to reveal how this brand new fat-busting treatment works, how it can begin working for you just minutes from now, and I'm also going to show you scientific proof published in countless peer-reviewed medical journals around the globe that proves beyond all doubt how this unusual method melts away unwanted fat, shaves inches off your waist, thighs, butt, and gut, and transforms your health, energy levels, and life expectancy in a few short weeks, like nothing you've ever heard, tried, or seen before. This stunning research, which I believe to be the biggest weight loss breakthrough of the 21st century, has been proven to work time and time again. Whether you are female or male, no matter your body type, or whether you're 28, 38, or even 58, and without the need to bust your butt at the gym, make yourself miserable on restrictive starvation diets, or risk your health and well-being on expensive side effect-ridden weight loss drugs, which, as I will explain later, will never work anyway. Plus, in the next 2.5 minutes, I will be revealing the hidden truth behind your weight gain, including the 3 sinister lies about weight loss that unwittingly trap you in a never-ending cycle of yo-yo dieting that is ultimately destroying your health. I'll also be lifting the lid on the 3 most common healthy breakfast foods that actually make you fat, the shocking truth about so-called diet foods, the 1 vegetable you should never eat if you want to fight the flab, and I'll give you the skinny on a little-known secret mineral that has been clinically proven to shrink fat cells. Now, if you think this all sounds a little too good to be true, it's important to know that as a personal trainer and weight loss expert, I've been able to help exactly 47,763 men and women across America to lose life-changing amounts of weight in a matter of weeks and dramatically improve their health using this breakthrough treatment. People like Mary Darlow of Flint, Michigan, who lost 27 pounds in less than 6 weeks. And Jared Simons of Newark, Delaware, who lost a huge 23 pounds in 7 weeks. And Jess Taylor of Erie, Pennsylvania, a new client to this system, who lost an insane 21 pounds in her first 3 weeks. Those are just a few of the many thousands of men and women who have contacted me with their success stories in the past few weeks after letting this method go to work on their bodies. And I'll be sharing some more with you in just a bit. But first, I need to warn you about something. With obesity on the rise, big pharma and the weight loss industry are getting richer and richer, while Americans get fatter and fatter. As a personal trainer and nutritionist, I've been writing and reporting about these two industries for years, fighting against the odds to expose the real truth, and I've been making a lot of very rich people very mad. The truth is something I'm certain your doctor is clueless about. That there's a simple, inexpensive, and 100% natural way for you to quickly and easily strip away pounds of unsightly fat from the comfort of your own home. And do it without dangerous surgery, without a single expensive drug, without the need for any useless diet plans or crazy workout regimes, and without having to spend a single cent if you don't want to. And I'll be revealing how this is possible in just a moment. So I urge you to watch every single second of this little presentation. Because if you're sick and tired of staring at that wobbly spare tire in your midsection every day, if you're fed up at being constantly confused and frustrated by all the contradictory weight loss advice in all the media, if you're feeling embarrassed and depressed at your current weight, if you're worried that your wife, husband, or partner isn't finding you as attractive as they used to, If you're concerned that your ever-expanding waistline could leave you vulnerable to life-threatening health conditions like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, osteoarthritis, and a whole host of cancers, to name just a few. And if your confidence and self-esteem is at rock bottom because you hate the way you look, but just don't know how to reverse your spiraling weight gain, then put everything else on hold for just a few more minutes. Sit back, get comfortable, because by the end of this presentation, you will know exactly how to melt away fat, transform your health, dramatically increase your life expectancy, and boost your energy and vitality in a few short weeks from now. Just imagine how that would feel for a moment. To be able to fit into clothes you haven't worn in years. To wake up in the morning bursting with energy. To look in the mirror and love what you see and the leaner person you've become. To finally feel confident, happy, and proud of your body. Well, all of this is within your reach. Seriously, you just need to keep watching. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Joseph Rosa and I live in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm 39 years old, and for the last 10 years, I've been working as a personal trainer and sports nutritionist, helping people lose weight, get in shape, and improve their health. But what I didn't realize until recently was that I'd been doing everything wrong. Yeah, I admit it. I thought I knew everything there was to know about nutrition and weight loss, until a bizarre meeting with a disgraced former medical student from Hyderabad in India finally put me on the right path. In just a moment, I promise to reveal this completely natural fat-burning secret, how you can start using it yourself in no more than a few minutes from now, and I'm also going to show you all the scientific research that explains why and how it works so well. Plus, I'm going to tell you about those 3 sinister weight loss lies that are spreading around the weight loss community, the 3 most common healthy breakfast foods that secretly make you fat, and a lot more. Now, you're probably curious about how I stumbled upon this breakthrough method that not only saved my own sister's life by helping her lose a whopping 35 pounds in just 33 days, but has since helped over 47,000 Americans to lose life-changing amounts of weight themselves. Now, I must warn you, what you're about to hear will genuinely shock you and make you extremely angry. And to be honest, this isn't easy for me to talk about, so please bear with me if I have an embarrassing breakdown mid-sentence. But it's important that you hear the story, because despite having no obvious health problems, my sister's weight gain had made her a ticking time bomb, ripe for a heart attack. And what you need to realize is that you could suffer the same fate if you don't do anything to tackle your weight gain now, before it's too late. And whatever you do, don't fall into the trap of trying any of those hyped up weight loss fad diets or any of the other scams, because you'll soon discover these programs are actually part of the problem that has led to America's obesity epidemic, and I'm about to tell you why. I'll also reveal how seeing my own beautiful sister almost die in my arms set me on the path to discovering the miracle weight loss system that she and thousands of others have enjoyed ever since. Now, up until a few years ago, I'd never given a second thought to my sister's health. Jane was overweight, sure, but I never thought of her as being fat or unhealthy or anything like that. But underneath the surface, she was packing pounds of life-threatening visceral fat, the worst kind of fat there is. This stuff is a toxic goop that marinates the organs inside your belly with a cocktail of dangerous chemicals. And it was rapidly collecting around Jane's vital organs, while a dangerous substance called plaque was building up inside her coronary arteries and was starting to restrict the supply of oxygenated blood to her heart. But of course, we were blind to all of this at the time. Jane was active, happy, and full of life, constantly running around after her 2 daughters, Alex and Sarah. But all that changed on one terrifying night last year that will stay with me forever. After our mom died from a heart attack brought about by type 2 diabetes at the age of just 57, I'd been spending a lot of time with Jane and her family. That night, I'd taken her to the movies and then out to dinner. By the time we left the restaurant, it was late, around 11:30 p.m., and the train station was deserted. I remember it well. It was cold, wet, and miserable. We got in a lift into town with some friends, so we didn't have a ticket to get back home. I told Jane I'd go get the tickets from the kiosk, and she went ahead to wait at the platform, which was over at the other side of the train tracks. And then it happened. The worst moment of my entire life. As I was buying tickets, I heard shouting and screaming from the platform. It sounded like Jane. I sprinted up the stairs and witnessed the most blood-curdling sight I could ever imagine. 2 hooded men were attacking my sister. They had charged at her like crazed animals. Their bloodshot eyes were all I could see under their dark hoods. She was on the floor screaming, desperately trying to fight them off. She tried to run, but it was like her feet were stuck in concrete. She tried to move her arms, but they felt like lead weights. It was a living nightmare. As the men attacked her, her breathing became more and more difficult, gasping for each precious breath as her vision started to blur. Then, she felt a sharp, agonizing stabbing pain in her chest. She was having a heart attack, even though she was only 43 years old. I sprinted up the stairs as fast as my legs would carry me, a surge of adrenaline pumping through my veins, my whole body shaking with rage, shouting at the top of my lungs for these disgusting animals to get off my sister. But all I could hear was Jane screaming in terror. I ran through the tunnel separating the two platforms and sprinted down the stairs until I could see the two men, one on top of my sister and the other just standing there watching, with a vile, inhuman grin on his face. I'm 6'3", fit and strong, but I'm a gentle guy who gets upset if I kill a fly. But when I was confronted by what I saw on that platform, I lost it. I mean, totally lost it. My memory of what happened next is a little hazy, but I remember one of the men running away up the stairs as I shouted after him. The other man, who was on top of my sister, tried to run off, but his foot got caught in Jane's handbag, which gave me enough time to grab him and wrestle him to the ground. He had a knife and swiped at me with it, cutting my face and arm. But I fought with every ounce of my being. It was truly life or death. I went completely crazy, screaming at this man as we fought on the platform. I punched him as hard as I could, again and again and again. And I kept punching him. I was out of control. I couldn't stop. Eventually, bystanders who'd heard the screaming and shouting ran towards us and dragged me away from the man as he lay on the floor, broken nose, blood pouring from his face. I looked over at Jane. She was lying motionless on the floor. I checked her pulse, but she wasn't breathing. I'd taken a first aid course 2 years before, and this was the ultimate test of my memory. I frantically performed CPR on Jane, hands clasped, crying for her to wake up. Nothing. I desperately pounded on her chest like an adrenaline-crazed gorilla. Still nothing. I then pressed my mouth against hers to force air into her lungs, and after what felt like an eternity, she sprang back to life, gasping for air. A surge of relief struck me like a lightning bolt. I collapsed on the floor in relief, covered in blood, as the unconscious, bashed up and barely alive attacker lay next to us groaning in deserved pain, while a small crowd of stunned onlookers stared at us in shock and disbelief. It was a terrifying night. But here's the thing. This traumatic experience, and ultimately my sister's heart attack, set me on the path to discovering a bizarre and little-known weight loss secret given to me by a former medical student from a prestigious medical school that would ultimately shed 35 pounds of fat off her body in just 33 days, transformed her health, and saved her life. After the attack, the ambulance rushed my sister to hospital where we discovered just how much of a ticking time bomb she really was. After a few days in intensive care where Jane recovered and I answered questions from the police, we finally received the test results, which gave us a window into Jane's health. It wasn't good. Jane's vital organs were surrounded in dangerous and life-threatening visceral fat, the worst kind of fat you can have, but undetectable without an MRI scan. But not only that, Jane had a potentially fatal amount of plaque building up inside her coronary arteries, which had been restricting the supply of oxygenated blood to her heart, and incredibly, she'd also suffered too many strokes, or transient ischemic attacks, which she hadn't even been aware of before she described her symptoms. And if all that wasn't worrying enough, she was also suffering from prediabetes and high blood pressure. According to Jane, the only condition she knew about was her high blood pressure, and she'd been taking medication for almost 12 months, which had done nothing except saddle her with horrible side effects like sickness, fatigue, and the surprise urges to vomit. Then Jane's doctor dropped the news like a ton of bricks. If she didn't lose at least 25 pounds to remove the strain from her heart, she would be dead within 6 months. My jaw dropped. I witnessed sheer terror and tears swell up in Jane's eyes. Sure, she was overweight, but 6 months to live? That was crazy. The news sent shockwaves through the room. Her 2 daughters and my nieces, Alex and Sarah, stood beside Jane's bed, holding their mother's hand. Alex looked up at her mom, her cheeks dripping with tears, and asked, "Mommy, are you going to die?" It broke my heart. We all broke down in tears right there in front of the rest of the staff. Now, the reason I'm telling you this isn't because I want you to feel sorry for my sister or her children. I'm telling you this because you need to understand how quickly your life can be taken from you if you don't do anything to change things. Jane thought she was okay. It's just a bit of high blood pressure, she said to herself. It's just a bit of breathlessness. But underneath, she was a ticking time bomb just waiting to go off. Any day could have been her last. And that night at the train station was almost it. Jane was absolutely terrified that her eating habits and lifestyle might mean she'd never get the chance to see her children go to college, get married, or have children themselves. The thought ripped her apart inside. Over the next few days, Jane was advised to get her affairs in order, notify her family, and arrange who would take care of her 2 daughters if she suffered another heart attack or a stroke, which was the wake-up call she needed. As her brother and a personal trainer and certified nutritionist, I felt guilty that my own sister had ended up like this, and I swore to do everything in my power to help her lose weight. So I sat down with Jane, and we talked about what we needed to do to get her weight down quickly and healthily. Despite me telling her not to, Jane told me that during the previous years, she'd been on a whole bunch of hyped-up weight loss programs. Apparently, when she started on these programs, she was 182 pounds. But when she was weighed at the hospital, she weighed 280 pounds, as well as being diagnosed with prediabetes, high blood pressure, and still suffering from 2 mini strokes and an almost fatal heart attack. Amazing, isn't it? Instead of helping her to lose weight and improve her health, these scam diets had actually made her balloon up by 100 pounds and literally destroyed her body. Now you might be wondering, how's that even possible? Well, grab a pen and paper, because now I'm going to reveal the 3 sinister lies spreading around the weight loss community like wildfire. Lie number 1, low-calorie foods are the key to weight loss. This is complete and utter garbage. And any nutritionist you speak with will tell you the same thing. But the marketing departments of the big food companies and practically all of the leading weight loss programs are built around this obsession with limiting calories. I told Jane that this is because cutting calories works in the short term, and that's all they care about, because that way you think it's working. I revealed that what they fail to tell you and don't care about is that dramatically cutting your calorie intake will force your metabolism to slow down and stop burning fat for energy. Why? Because it thinks you're starving yourself, so it clings onto your fat reserves as a survival mechanism. It's a basic evolutionary response to potential famine. But the problem is, as soon as you start feasting again, which everyone does when they lose weight because starvation diets are horrible, the initial weight you lose not only piles back on, but you gain even more fat because your body is now protecting you from potential starvation. This is why low-calorie starvation diets produce yo-yo dieting, and it benefits the weight loss companies because you keep coming back. The truth, the real secret to healthy and long-term weight loss has absolutely nothing to do with calories. In fact, you can eat as much food as you want, but it has to be the right food. And I'll be revealing exactly what those foods are, which will allow you to boost your metabolism and turn your body into a fat-burning furnace in a few short weeks from now. Lie number 2, you need to eat low-fat foods. This is another massive lie spreading across the weight loss community. So how did it happen? Well, back in the 60s and 70s, scientists discovered that some fats were bad for our health. But unfortunately, the facts got skewed, and the American people took it to mean all fats. So they started demanding low-fat and fat-free foods. And the food companies listened, because it was a brand new and potentially lucrative market for them to exploit. But the truth is, not all fat is bad for us. In fact, it's the body's preferred source of fuel. And essential fats are absolutely crucial to your overall health. Heck, our brain alone is more than 60% fat. But here's the thing. In order to make their foods fat-free, the food manufacturers stripped away all of the fat, including all the nutritious fat your body requires. But guess what? Removing all the fat made their foods taste horrible, so they packed them full of sugar instead. And yep, you guessed it, sugar makes you fat. In fact, it's the #1 reason for America's obesity epidemic and the prime culprit behind the alarming rise in metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and many forms of cancer. Sugar is nutritionally redundant and toxic to the human body, so all you can do with it is either burn it for energy or store it as fat. So whenever you eat low-fat or fat-free foods, all you're doing is filling your body with excess sugar, which your body then turns to fat, adding unsightly flab to your belly, thighs, arms, and butt, which, wait for it, causes you to go out and buy more low-fat foods. It's a vicious cycle that keeps you trapped in a permanent state of weight gain, and this is exactly what happened to my sister Jane. The truth. Because they're crammed full of sugar, low-fat and fat-free foods are often more fattening than the original full-fat natural product. But don't worry, because in a moment, I'll reveal the tasty and 100% natural foods that will allow you to shave off pounds of unsightly flab, so stick around. Line number 3, try sugar-free foods. The American people are now getting wise to the fact that sugar leads to weight gain. So you may have noticed a lot of food manufacturers and weight loss companies are creating and selling sugar-free foods. But of course, products without sugar taste like crap. So to make them taste sweet, they use artificial sweeteners, formulated in a lab. But the problem is, artificial sweeteners like Equal, NutraSweet, and Sweet and Low are packed full of unnatural and toxic chemicals, and have been shown to actually increase weight gain by triggering the brain to crave more sweet foods. And even worse, artificial sweeteners have been plagued with clinical studies showing an increased risk of cancer. The truth. Just like fat-free foods, sugar-free foods trap you in a never-ending cycle where you put on weight, then buy foods with artificial sweeteners to fix it, which causes you to put on more weight. Again, this is exactly what happened to Jane. During our chat, we also discussed Jane's daily diet, and I discovered that despite thinking she was eating a healthy breakfast every morning, in reality, she was piling on even more pounds without even realizing it. In fact, I quickly let her know that she was regularly eating the 3 most common breakfast foods that actually make you fat. The first one was breakfast cereal. Although they claim to be healthy, heavily processed cereals are normally packed full of sugar and refined carbs, which lead to a spike in blood sugar and insulin levels, followed by a crash an hour or 2 later, which leaves you starving hungry and craving another snack high in refined carbs. The second breakfast food that I told her was making her fat was fruit juice. We're told that they're healthy, but in reality, they're often nothing more than flavored water crammed full of sugar and some chemicals that taste like fruit. And even if you're lucky enough to find a fruit juice with real fruit in it, the sugar content is actually pretty similar to fizzy drinks like Coca-Cola. The third supposed healthy breakfast food to avoid is whole wheat bread. This is one of the biggest lies that Americans have been swallowing every day for years. You'd think that whole wheat was made from actual whole grains, right? Well, it isn't. Almost without exception, the grains have been pulverized into very fine flour that will spike your blood sugar just as fast as regular white bread, leaving you craving sugary, starchy foods later in the morning. Jane also told me that the weight loss program she'd been on had advised eating lots of potatoes because they were low in fat. But according to a recent study into long-term weight gain published in the New England Journal of Medicine, despite being a vegetable, potatoes came out as the #1 food making us fat. Incredible, right? According to the study, all forms were fattening, with every serving of potatoes adding on almost 1.3 pounds, while an extra serving of potato chips led to a gain of almost 1.7 pounds, and every serving of fries in a day added on a whopping 3.3 pounds. My sister Jane was eating low-calorie, low-fat, and sugar-free food every day, and eating a supposed healthy breakfast, thinking she was being smart, when in reality, it was making her fatter and fatter, wrecking her health, and sending her hurtling towards an early grave. I could tell Jane straight off what she was doing was wrong, but truthfully, I wasn't 100% sure what she should do next. If it wasn't for a chance meeting with a disgraced medical student from Hyderabad, India, who, as luck would have it, was sat in the hospital cubicle opposite ours in the days following Jane's heart attack. He was called Ajit, and he was in Connecticut visiting his sick mother. After eating lunch at the cafeteria, Ajit approached me. He explained that he'd heard what they had said to my sister and that he wanted to help. What followed was the most eye-opening 30 minutes of my life. I was literally handed the simplest fat loss secret I'd ever encountered. Ajit explained that for 3 years, he'd been studying at the Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad, where he'd been working on a breakthrough theory for obliterating fat from the human body and stimulating weight loss. During his research, he discovered a specific combination of herbs, spices, plant extracts, minerals, and vitamins that had produced phenomenal reductions in weight amongst his trial subjects. After a few weeks, Ajit couldn't keep his findings to himself any longer and began to test out his new program on friends and family, who all experienced rapid weight loss and dramatic improvements in their health and well-being. Within weeks, fat melted away. Blood pressure fell back to normal, healthy levels. Blood sugar stabilized, energy levels went through the roof, and chronic inflammation vanished. The results were mind-blowing. Eventually, the Institute found out about Ajit's secret trials and he was fired and thrown out of the building in disgrace. But not before he'd written down his entire program in his notebook. Over the next few months, Ajit explained that he tried to publicize his research, but he didn't have the money nor the knowledge on how to do it. I sat there across the table speechless with my mouth wide open in shock as Ajit told his story. Then he hit me with it. "I want to give my research to your sister," Ajit said. "I know it will help her lose weight and it could save her life." I knew a lot about weight loss, and I thought I had the knowledge to help my sister on her own. But there was no way I was going to turn down Ajit's offer if what he was telling me was even remotely true. The next day, I met up with Ajit at the hospital, and he carefully handed me his secret notebook, packed full to the brim with powerful and completely natural weight loss secrets. Everything was there. The exact superfoods that Ajit had discovered during his studies, every ingredient, combination, and amount required to burn fat quickly, safely, and 100% naturally were laid out, with detailed meal plans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as snacks and drinks. I was also shown which supplements to take, how many, and exactly when you should take them in order to maximize their efficiency. It was incredible. Ajit looked at me with a raised brow, said in a quiet, almost threatening voice, "You didn't get this from me. Do you understand? This conversation never happened, okay?" "Of course I understand," I replied. Ajit seemed scared, like he was handing over a precious 1,000-year-old relic for safekeeping. It all seemed really strange, and to be honest, I was a little skeptical that this program could actually work. So as soon as I got home, I started doing some digging, looking into his research. In one of his trials, he'd given his subjects cumin, which he claimed had produced rapid weight loss. I want to see if what Ajit told me might be true, so I poured through medical journals and published studies looking for something similar. And there it was. A study carried out at the University of Medical Sciences in Iran in 2014 found that just a daily teaspoon of cumin helped subjects lose 3 times more fat than those who weren't taking the spice. According to the study, in just 12 weeks, members of the cumin group decreased body fat percentage by a whopping 14.64%, almost triple the 4.91% loss posted by the control group, and saw larger reductions in body mass index and waist circumference. Those in the cumin group also experienced reduced levels of fasting cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL, or bad cholesterol, while their levels of HDL, or good cholesterol, increased. On another page of his notebook, Ajit talked about how turmeric had produced remarkable levels of weight loss, and again, I found proof in a variety of published journals, just sitting there, being ignored by the world. According to the studies, curcumin, which is the active ingredient found in turmeric, reduces the formation of fat tissue by constricting the blood vessels needed for fat cell growth. Curcumin is one of the 3 known nutrients with the ability to cut off the nutrient supply to fat cells, causing them to shrivel down to nothing. Like no other diet, exercise program, or pill, you can now command your fat cells to shrink at will by simply taking affordable spices and letting them hit the self-destruct button on your fat cells. Now you can reverse years of fat accumulation for pennies worth of spices per day, and it's completely safe. In fact, they also improve your health with no negative side effects. As the researcher stated, our results clearly demonstrate that curcumin at cellular and whole organism levels display remarkable potential health benefits for prevention of obesity and associated metabolic disorders. Ajit also talked about the fat-burning powers of capsaicin, found in cayenne pepper, and again, I found a recent study carried out at the Department of Biotechnology at Daegu University in Korea, which concluded that capsaicin was able to fight obesity by decreasing calorie intake, shrinking fat tissue, and lowering blood fat levels, as well as fighting fat buildup by triggering beneficial protein changes in the body. And there were a dozen more completely natural herbs, spices, plant extracts, minerals, and vitamins inside Ajit's notebook, complete with precise amounts and specific combinations that had been scientifically proven to obliterate fat and produce rapid and healthy weight loss in men and women of all sizes and ages, as well as powerful lifestyle tips and tricks that had been shown to burn even more fat. None of the ingredients were expensive, nor was it hard work at all. The more I looked into Ajit's research, the more I was convinced that what I was holding in my hand was the holy grail of weight loss. The perfect combination of natural ingredients in the optimum amounts. I scooped up the notebook and sprinted over to Jane's house, feeling as excited as an eager child on Christmas morning. Like me, Jane was skeptical about Ajit's story, but she was determined to try anything. After all, nothing else she'd tried had worked, and her health was in jeopardy, so she had nothing to lose. Besides, nothing in Ajit's notebook raised any kind of health or safety red flags at all. It was all based on introducing healthy foods and nutrients into your body in specific combinations that safely shrink and even destroy fat cells. Over the next few days, I stayed with Jane and the girls to make sure she was following the program exactly and not skipping anything. The first few days passed and we noticed no significant changes in weight or health. Day 4, 5, and 6 went by and still no improvement. Our excitement and expectation was beginning to fade, and I was starting to doubt everything that Ajit had told me. But then on day 7, something incredible happened. You need to hear this part of the story directly from Jane herself. So Jane, over to you.
Thank you, Joseph, and hello, everyone. I understand that Joseph already told you about the night of my heart attack. Thanks to the many wasted years I spent on some of the biggest and most famous weight loss programs in America that did nothing except make me even fatter and destroy my health even more. Well, thankfully, Ajit's program was the miracle I'd been searching for. And to be brutally honest, it saved my life. There's a good chance I wouldn't be here talking to you today if it wasn't for the chance meeting between my brother Joseph and Ajit outside my hospital room. The day everything changed was a crisp Sunday morning in December, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the 7th day on Ajit's program. Normally, I would wake up in the morning feeling sluggish and tired like I had a hangover. But on this particular morning, I woke up and immediately felt different. My eyes felt brighter, my head felt clearer, and I jumped out of bed like I was a kid again. I felt so much more energetic and ran straight to the bathroom and leapt on the scales, which had been my mortal enemy for well over a decade. But today they were my best friend. I'd lost a pound. Sure, it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a start. But then things really began to change. Over the next 3 weeks, the rapid weight loss I witnessed was extraordinary, and the improvement in my health was dramatic. I couldn't believe what was happening, and had to literally pinch myself each morning because I didn't believe it. In the space of just 33 days, I lost exactly 35 pounds. My children, Sarah and Alex, couldn't believe what they were seeing either, and they were so happy to see their mom looking well again, enjoying life and healthy for the first time in years. I went to visit our dad that week. No doubt he expected to see a 280-pound whale waddle into the room again, because the look on his face when he saw me will stay with me for a long time. You know those old cartoons when someone's mouth drops wide open in shock? Well, that was him. He literally couldn't believe his eyes. He revealed that he'd never seen such a dramatic drop in weight and was initially worried until he saw how healthy and full of life I looked. My results were extraordinary. My heart had rebounded back to life and was now as strong and healthy as a woman in her 20s. My fasting cholesterol, triglycerides, and LDL cholesterol levels had fallen dramatically, back to healthy levels, while my HDL or good cholesterol reading had increased hugely. Just a few weeks before, I was on the edge of being diagnosed with full-blown type 2 diabetes, but my blood sugar levels had fallen dramatically and were now showing as a safe and perfectly healthy 112. And my blood pressure had dropped from 190 over 140 to 125 over 80 in just 33 days. It was nothing short of a miracle. He took one look at me and said that he'd never seen anything like it. My daughter Alex then tugged me by the arm, looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Does this mean you're not going to die now, Mommy?" I wanted to say no straight away, but looked at my dad for some reassurance. He knelt down and said to Alex, "No, darling, your mommy's not going to die. In fact, she's a very healthy mommy, and you should be very proud." "I am," said Alex. That moment brought a tear to my eye. To hear my own stubborn father say I was a very healthy person, that he was proud of me, and to see his shocked expression when he saw how much weight I'd lost was an incredible feeling. But my progress didn't stop there. Over the next few months, I continued to follow Ajit's program, and the weight continued to fall off. All of the health problems I'd previously suffered from vanished, and I now had the energy levels of a teenager. And the best part is that it wasn't a struggle. No intense workouts, no counting points or calories, no ordering expensive meals or choking down bland food. The herbs, spices, and other nutrients were doing work inside my body that I never imagined was possible without diet and exercise. Every day, I thank God that Ajit was there that day, sitting with his mother in the hospital cubicle opposite mine. Because if he hadn't have been there, I honestly don't think I'd still be here today. And all of the people that Joseph has helped since would still be struggling with their weight, feeling miserable, fatigued, depressed, and wasting their money on weight loss fads. Which brings us back to my brother Joseph. You see, being the kind of man Joseph is, he wasn't satisfied at simply transforming my life. He wanted to transform the lives of as many people as possible, all over America and the world. So now I'm going to hand you back to Joseph to continue this remarkable story.
Thanks, Jane. And hello again. After Jane had experienced such dramatic results, her friends and the rest of our family were desperate to know what her secret was, and if she was on some kind of experimental medication or diet. I wanted to share Ajit's program with them, as I couldn't in good conscience keep it to Jane and myself. It wouldn't be right when there were hundreds of millions of people suffering all over the country, and I had a proven system that would allow them to shave off pounds of unsightly fat from their bellies, thighs, arms, and butt, transform their health, and potentially add years or even decades to their lives. So I contacted Ajit for permission to reveal his research to our friends and family. Thankfully, he agreed. For the next few months, dozens of our closest friends and family members experienced similarly remarkable weight loss results and dramatic improvements in their health, energy levels, mental clarity, and quality of sleep. The next step was to share the program with my personal training clients. At the time, I only had 22 loyal clients, but as word spread, I was bombarded with calls and emails from people wanting to join my program. Within just 30 days, my client list exploded to 130, and 30 days after that, it nearly doubled to 215. These were everyday men and women, and even children, who had practically given up hope of ever getting the slim and toned physique they'd always wanted. But now they were burning through pounds of fat like a runaway train, revitalizing their health and boosting their energy levels in the process. Thanks to social media, my program soon went viral, and suddenly there were thousands of people from all over the country pleading with me to join my program. And that's when it hit me. This was too big for me to handle. There were people contacting me not only from all over America, but from countries like Australia, South Africa, Canada, England, and many more, all begging me to put my program online. So that's exactly what I did. With Ajit's help, I worked solidly for 9 weeks to turn his original weight loss plan into a comprehensive, step-by-step, and easy-to-follow system for obliterating fat and turning the human body into a fat-burning furnace, 100% naturally and from the comfort of your own home. And we called it the Fat Obliterator System, the 100% natural way to obliterate fat from home. In this comprehensive and step-by-step system, you will be given everything you need to melt away pounds of ugly, life-threatening fat stores from your body. And what's more, you can do it from the comfort of your own home, 100% naturally and safely, and without expensive drugs, dangerous surgery, or back-breaking workout routines. You'll get Ajit's exact plan, exactly what ingredients to eat, how often, and how to combine them to create maximum fat-busting results. You'll also get a variety of delicious recipes, meal plans, and smoothies packed full of these miracle fat-obliterating ingredients, so you literally don't need to do any work at all. You just eat and let the ingredients do their work to shrink your fat cells, curb your cravings, and boost your metabolism so you shed fat automatically. This is the exact same system that enabled my sister Jane to drop 35 pounds in just 33 days and completely transform her health. And it's the same system that thousands of my clients have been using to melt pounds of fat easily, quickly, and safely. No matter how much weight you want to lose, this is the only weight loss system you'll ever need because it's based on the latest medical and nutritional research. And just as important, it's a food and nutrient-based system, not another fad pill, de-enervation diet, or exhausting workout regimen. In the Fat Obliterator system, you will also discover the one thing you can stop eating, which, all by itself, helps you lose up to 1 pound of fat per week, control hunger cycles, increase energy, and reduce bloating. The most antioxidant-dense food on the planet that crushes food cravings faster than any berry on Earth. A 12-month study of 130 overweight people published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that the group consuming more of one particular food lost 53% more body fat than the control group, despite consuming the same amount of calories. How eating more of this one food burns as many calories as 1 hour of moderate intensity exercise. As shocking as this sounds, it's all documented in a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. You'll learn exactly how eating this tasty food shaves off 260 calories of fat per day. This so-called healthy alternative food that shares 27 ingredients with the paint on your walls. Avoid this one forever. You will also discover how an everyday breakfast food that cost no more than a few pennies enabled subjects to lose more than 5 times more weight than the placebo group over a 12-week period, according to a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food. Plus, I'll also reveal the little-known mineral that shrinks fat cells. Honey, I shrunk the fat. Research at the University of Texas found that adding this mineral to your daily diet can help you significantly boost fat loss without losing muscle. But that's just for starters. Think that high-fat food leads to weight gain? Think again. As I said earlier, low-fat food is your enemy, despite what the media tells you. And bizarrely, foods high in fat are often your best friend in the fight against the flab. In a study published in the European Journal of Nutrition, scientists were shocked to discover that people who ate this famously high-fat product were actually the least likely to become obese. And in the Fat Obliterator system, I'll be revealing exactly what it is, as well as every other natural fat-fighting ingredient you can pick up for next to nothing at your local grocery store. But there's more. How would you like to take all the great weight loss results you've just heard about and double them? That's what happens when you add 2 simple nutrients to your diet each day, which are found in abundance in one simple and easily accessible food. According to a Nutrition Journal study, after just 4 weeks of a 12-week experiment, subjects who ate this food lost 2 times more fat than the control group. And you'll also discover how to rev up your metabolism and burn more fat by sipping a cheap and tasty Chinese drink every day. Incredibly, a 6-week Chinese study found that participants who regularly sipped this brew lost a pound a week. But as well as all that, I'll also be revealing Ajit's most powerful and effective lifestyle secrets that will torch fat in no time, including Something you can do while watching TV that will burn an extra 270 calories a day. A bizarre 30-second trick you do in the shower that will speed up fat loss by turbocharging your metabolism. And a little-known breathing technique that will instantly lower your cortisol levels, the stress hormone which has been scientifically proven to make weight loss virtually impossible. And believe me, those aren't even the headline acts. When people follow this exact system, eat all of these miracle fat-fighting ingredients in the right combinations, and follow these simple lifestyle tips, the weight literally falls off. I've seen it with my own eyes again and again. And if you're thinking that this sounds like hard work, don't worry. The great thing about this system is that there's no need to completely change your diet, starve yourself, or add any crazy workouts to your daily routine. All you need to do is simply add a small selection of inexpensive natural ingredients to your daily meals, which you can pick up from your local grocery store for no more than a few dollars, and implement some very simple and incredibly quick changes to your lifestyle. That's literally all it takes to start burning fat and transforming your health, energy, and vitality levels in a few short weeks. Just imagine how that would feel. Imagine the feeling you'll have when the weight starts falling off, and you can fit into the jeans you haven't worn in years. Imagine no longer feeling shame and self-hatred whenever you take off your shirt or pants or look in the mirror. Imagine the look on your friends and family's faces, and even maybe your ex, when they see the new, streamlined, sexy you. Imagine no longer having to waste money on horrible starvation diets, watch everything you eat, or deny yourself your favorite foods. And imagine the feeling you'll have when you know that with every mouthful you consume, you're dramatically reducing your risk of succumbing to any number of deadly health conditions like high blood pressure, stroke, heart failure, aneurysms, type 2 diabetes, multiple forms of cancer, while adding years to your life expectancy as a result. Which will mean you'll be able to spend quality time with your children and watch your grandchildren grow up, get married, and have kids of their own. Thousands of men and women all over the world are doing exactly that right now thanks to this system. People like Susan Wood of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, who lost a ridiculous 38 pounds in less than 2 months. And then there's Nathaniel Baker of Austin, Texas, who in just 46 days went from 290 pounds to 212 pounds. And Lainey Patterson of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who lost 27 pounds and has never felt better. Believe me, I have literally hundreds more emails and letters just like that from people all over the world who have used this system to melt away unwanted fat and boost their health and well-being in a matter of days. And because of that, I originally thought about charging as much as $597 for this system. After all, each one of the ingredients is clinically proven to burn fat, and 3 of these ingredients cause your fat cells to shrink and self-destruct by attaching themselves to the fat cells and suppressing the blood vessels needed to form fat tissue. As a result, you immediately start losing inches from your stomach, thighs, hips, butt, and arms in a way diets, pills, and exercise never could. And you don't have to be a guinea pig or perform experiments on yourself. All the clinical trials at a cost of untold thousands upon thousands of dollars have been done for you. So just imagine the results you could achieve when all of these ingredients are combined together in the perfect quantities and consumed every day. And what's more, just imagine how much money you'll be saving by tackling your weight issues now. You won't have to spend any more money on fad diets, bizarre weight loss contraptions, and the inevitable medication, surgery, and other hospital bills that you'll be saddled with when you succumb to the variety of health conditions brought about by excess weight. So, with all that in mind, I think it's pretty clear just how much of a bargain $597 is for a proven treatment that actually works and is 100% natural. But here's the thing. There's no way I'm going to ask you to pay $597 because I want to make it as affordable and accessible to more than just an elite few. I haven't forgotten how traumatic and terrifying it was to watch my sister almost die in my arms because her heart was so weak and clogged by fat that it couldn't take the stress of that attack at the train station. I still remember staring at Jane in that hospital bed, with all those tubes sticking out of her, tears streaming down my face, promising myself that I would do everything I could to help her. I've been able to help so many people with my Fat Obliterator system, and I'm enormously proud of that. But I don't want to stop now. I want to help you, and millions more just like you. So I'm not going to ask for anything like $597, even though that's still well short of what this system is actually worth. In fact, I'm not going to ask for half that, or 1/10 for that matter. Instead, you can get the entire Fat Obliterator system complete with the natural ingredients list, instructions for combining them, the recipes, meal plans, smoothies, lifestyle tips, and everything else for a one-time investment of just $47, which is just enough to cover my costs. And all you need to do is click on the Add to Cart button below. Once you've done that, you will be sent through our secure checkout page where you'll input your details and order the system. Your order is 100% secure, safe, and protected by the latest encryption technology. You will then be instantly redirected through to our exclusive members area where you'll be able to download the entire system straight to your PC, laptop, cell phone, or tablet in next to no time. And if you're still feeling a little skeptical about everything you've just seen, I totally understand. So to put your mind at rest, your order comes with a no-nonsense 60-day money-back guarantee. This means that right now, all you need to do is say, maybe. And you can then take a full 2 months to put my weight loss system to the test in the comfort of your own home. You can try out all of the ingredients, recipes, meal plans, smoothies, and lifestyle tips. And if you don't experience quick and dramatic weight loss and a massive improvement in your overall health and well-being, or if you just decide to change your mind, then simply email me at the address provided in the members area, and I will refund every cent of your investment within 1 business day with no questions asked, and you can keep the entire system for free. All the risk is on me. So you literally have nothing to lose by ordering today. So hit add to cart below this video to accept this $47 investment in yourself, backed by my rock-solid, no-risk 60-day money-back guarantee. And when you order right now, I'm also going to give you 3 fast-action bonuses worth over $79 absolutely free to ensure that you get the best possible results imaginable. So when you order the Fat Obliterator system today, you will also receive my brand new ebook called 7 Fat Busting Supplements valued at $19.95. Here, I reveal the 7 most powerful supplements scientifically proven to supercharge your metabolism, kicking your fat burning into high gear and accelerate your weight loss, including one cheap and accessible supplement that helps subjects lose a massive 5.4 more pounds than the control group in a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in the Diabetes, Metabolic Syndrome, and Obesity Journal. But it's not just about weight loss. You will also receive Ajit's Energy Boosting Formula, a $29.95 value, which contains 17 of the most energizing and 100% natural foods on the planet that will give you sustained all-day energy without the crash, including one well-known plant extract that was scientifically proven to reduce fatigue in 2 separate clinical studies in South Korea and Brazil. Imagine how much more you'll accomplish and how much better you'll feel without those dreaded moments of feeling sluggish, exhausted. The 17 natural foods wipe out mental fog and keep you sharp and alert so you can focus all day long and rest easy at night. And hey, while you're shedding excess body fat and bursting with natural energy and vitality and proud of your body again, what better way to celebrate than in the bedroom with the Sex Drive Stimulator ebook valued at $29.95. It's yours free when you order today. You and your wife, husband, or partner will be able to enjoy maximum satisfaction between the sheets thanks to these 10 powerful and 100% natural aphrodisiacs, including one weird ingredient clinically proven to turbocharge both the male and female sex drives. In summary, when you hit add to cart below and order today, you're getting the entire Fat Obliterator system built on clinically proven natural foods, spices, and herbs guaranteed to remove pounds of excess body fat simply by eating and letting the ingredients do all the work to shrink and dissolve your overinflated fat cells to reveal a lean, healthy body in as little as 33 days. Plus, you get the free bonus package worth over $79, including your free Fat Busting Supplements ebook, your free Natural Energy Boosting ebook, and your free Sex Drive Stimulator ebook. And you'll get instant access to download access to everything in just 2 minutes from now. And you have 60 days to make your final decision. If you don't like it, it's free, but you need to act fast. As a personal trainer, I enjoy rewarding decisive action that leads you to better health. That's why when you place your order today, I'll slash the investment in the Fat Obliterator system by over 20%. So you can get the entire package with bonuses worth over $676 for only $37 today. And I do plan on raising the price back to $47, and I don't know when. But as long as you order today, you're guaranteed to get this package for the lowest price it's ever been. If you come back tomorrow, you might miss out. Now, let's look at the more serious issue and why $37 might save you up to $538 a month. Obesity rates are at record levels and climbing every day. And this means bigger and bigger profits for the industry and for big pharma, who make billions from a variety of different drugs created to treat weight-related health conditions like hypertension, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, gallbladder disease, osteoarthritis, gout, asthma, cancer, and many more. So it's pretty clear that from a health and well-being point of view, you need this system. But what about a financial point of view? Well, let me answer that question for you by showing you the astonishing costs that will come your way if you're overweight and don't do anything about it. According to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is the National Public Health Institute of the United States, if you're overweight, you'll pay $1,429 a year more in medical costs. And that's not all. According to personal finance expert Carmen Wong Ulrich in her book, The Real Cost of Living, when you add together the higher annual costs of healthcare and medication, $1,429, wage discrimination, $2,500, as well as other lifestyle costs like clothing, travel, and food bills, the cost of being overweight comes to $6,454 a year, or an extra $538 a month. Over 40 years, that works out at a whopping $258,000. So doing nothing is going to cost you a lot over the next few years, both financially and in terms of your health. And believe me, this isn't me trying to scare you. This is the reality if you choose to ignore your weight any longer. So right now, you need to make a choice. And as far as I see it, you have three options. 1, you can leave this page, say, "No thanks, Joseph," and do nothing. But by doing this, you'll be possibly cutting your life shorter because uncontrolled weight gain is a killer. Not to mention the guilt, the shame, and the embarrassment of constantly carrying around that excess fat. And as you've seen, it's going to cost you a fortune over the next few years. 2, you can choose to put your health and life in the hands of hyped-up weight loss programs. These companies spend hundreds of millions on marketing rather than their actual products. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, they're founded on low-calorie starvation diets that are impossible to stick to and lead to inevitable yo-yo dieting, which conveniently keeps you coming back for more. Not to mention supplying you with garbage, fat-free, and sugar-free foods that are nutritionally redundant, toxic to the human body, and actually increase your cravings. Or there's option 3, which is the opportunity to learn from your past mistakes and try something different. Something 100% natural and scientifically proven to work, which has already been used successfully by 47,763 men and women who have achieved spectacular results in weeks. So for the sake of your health, well-being, happiness, and your bank balance, and for the sake of your loved ones, make the right decision. Press the Add to Cart button below and put my Fat Obliterator system to the test for a full 60 days completely risk-free. And don't forget, I'll even let you keep the entire product and 3 bonuses as my way of thanking you for giving it a try. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. This has been Joseph Rosa, and I look forward to hearing your success stories very soon. Hit Add to Cart below, and I'll see you on the inside. Still here? No problem. I totally understand. You may be feeling a little skeptical about everything you've just heard. So to help clear a few things up for you, here are some of the most common questions that I get asked, which I hope will give you all the information that you need. The most common question I probably get asked is, how does it work? Well, to put it simply, Fat Obliterator is a system that tackles weight gain from all angles. This packed guide not only contains Ajit's most powerful fat-melting natural ingredients, including the herbs, spices, plant extracts, vitamins, and minerals, and all the foods to find them in, but you will also receive the exact combinations and amounts of each ingredient, complete with the meal plans and recipes. When eaten on their own, small results will be achieved. But when eaten together in the exact amounts and combinations for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the fat-burning results you'll witness will be miraculous. You'll be astonished at how the simple act of eating certain combinations of foods shrinks and dissolves fat from your body, whether you choose to work out or not. And you can speed up those results even more with Ajit's simple and easy-to-follow lifestyle tips and tricks, which will make it literally impossible for you not to lose weight. I also get a lot of emails from men saying, "Will this work for me?" And then they list their individual circumstances, age, weight, medical history, and things like that. My answer is always the same. We are all human beings, and we all function the same way. Of course, this system won't achieve the exact same results for everyone because you will be of a different weight to someone else to begin with, and maybe you have different medical conditions, and maybe you choose to exercise, although as you'll discover in the system, you don't need to if you don't want to. So while I won't categorically promise that you'll lose weight, almost 48,000 other people say that you will. And I haven't received a single email or letter from anyone who hasn't been blown away by the results they've achieved. And that leads me on to another question that I often get asked. Will I get my money back if it doesn't work? And the answer is yes, absolutely. As I said, this weight loss system has already worked for almost 48,000 people, but I completely understand if you have doubts, which is why your order comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't achieve the results you want or simply change your mind for any reason at all, then all you need to do is email me at the address provided in the members area, and I will issue you with a full and prompt refund. And that's a promise. And you can even keep the entire product and the 3 bonuses just to say thanks for giving it a try. So if you want a proven 100% natural way to burn fat, lose weight, and look and feel better than you have in years, I urge you to act now. And don't forget, your order is backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk to you. To get started, simply click on the Add to Cart button below, and I'll see you on the inside.